First semester, I got involved in a lot of different activities just to try things.
When I came back to Marist, I got involved in student activities. I worked at the student activities office.
Joined our fashion club, student booster club, intramural sports.
Marist ambassadors, I got involved in dodgeball and intramural football.
We both did soccer and volleyball. And then I did the Emerging Leaders program, and I just got elected to the financial board for student government.
I joined athletic teams, so cross country and track. I did a couple other clubs.
I got involved with Habitat for Humanity and campus ministry.
I tutor. I'm very involved in Toastmasters. I'm actually going to be an orientation leader in the summer.
We did a volleyball team for intramurals as well, which was really fun, all FFEs together.
I actually made it a ski team, which is a club team on Marist, and you go to races up in Vermont and all around.
Then my second semester, I kind of figured out what I really liked and what I didn't, and kind of found my niche in that sense.
There's a lot to do here if you're willing to go out and get involved, and what's really cool is here, student activities, you can get like a Broadway ticket for $25.
You get your transportation ticket into the show, and then you get to spend the afternoon in the city, which is really cool.
I know for Parents Weekend, they had Pentatonics come, which was really awesome.
We got a comedian from the Jimmy Fallon show, and he came and it was very funny.
There's a big hill in front of the library, and when that gets covered with snow, that becomes the local sledding and playtime area for skiing.
Every year the fashion students have a fashion show for the design students, and a lot of other students volunteer to work at it.
The block parties are kind of cool, sort of. Anytime there's like free food, and like there's always people that show up.
Garland loves to have barbecues. They do a big Halloween event, and last week they just had a luau.
It's kind of fun when you're back in America because it goes through the different seasons and people get into the different holidays. So like for Halloween, we went to like a haunted walk thing that somewhere in Poughkeepsie was having.
You can get a ski pass and bust up to Hunter Mountain in the winter for like $25.
It's not like you're stuck at Poughkeepsie while you're here. There are a lot of options to explore because that's something we as travelers like to do.
It's fun to do day trips to places like Beacon and Rhinebeck. Beacon has a really cool art gallery, and Rhinebeck has super good food.
Definitely there's a lot of outdoors opportunities, and especially in this time of year, you just can't resist but be outdoors.
The Hudson Valley has a lot of great hikes.
Just this past weekend, I went hiking upstate.
Just up in the Catskills with a couple of them yesterday, hiking some peaks, so.
Like more locally, we have the walkway over the Hudson, which is really nice to do when it's gets warmer out.
Now that it's nice out, it's fun to sit on the green with everyone and just hang out.
We go down to the river and just like sit on the docks, and it's just really peaceful. We joke around.
It's kind of like the Arno.
Yeah, sort of.
It's beautiful, there's a bridge, and nobody wants to swim in it.
Obviously it's not Florence, but it is a really pretty campus, and Hudson looks nice.
If you're in need of that 3 a.m. pizza still, we can still do that here in Poughkeepsie. Peeward Chicken Bacon Ranch Pizza.
One of our favorite spots is called Rossi's.
Love it there. It's a great place to go on the weekends.
Adams is really good. Buffalo Wild.
We've kind of explored breakfast and cafe places within Poughkeepsie, in Hyde Park, in Rhinebeck.
I like to go to the mall, the Galleria down the street. Go to Hoopla, it's a frozen yogurt place.
Going to sushi, a place called Bonsai by the Residence Inn, and they have some great happy hour specials.
A lot of times we go to half abs at Applebee's since you can walk to it.
Yes, Thrifty Cash. It took us a while to understand the concept of it, but basically you could use a Thrifty Cash at any cafe on campus. Specifically the Cabaret. It is open till 2 a.m. every night.
You can get Ben & Jerry's ice cream, chicken Verona wrap. You can also use the Thrifty at the Starbucks around campus, which is fantastic. I like going to the caf. It's really fun just to sit there. It's where you get to see everyone during the day. Like I sit there for like 4 hours sometimes, but it's just a really good atmosphere.
The CAF is really great for social, so if you have some time and you want to meet up with friends, that's a great place. If it's like quick, the cab, and a lot of the cafes are pretty good. I really like the Donnelly Cafe because it's got a really good salad bar.
I also really like the cafe in Hancock because the lady who works there is so nice, and she always looks at your ID when she scans it to like remember your name and your order.
And we eat at the caf, but we also cook at home.
The Valley Cafe, at least this year, has been every Tuesday, and we love to have lunch days there.
It's like the cab. Well, it's in the cab.
Living in mid-rise, the cab is so convenient. You could just walk in your shorts, and after finishing a paper at like 1 o'clock in the morning, just be able to go upstairs and get something that's enjoyable and not have to worry about cooking food.
So Perry and I actually went in as individuals into mid-rise, which is a sophomore dorm style.
And it's so easy to meet people as well because people just seem to walk in and out of all the rooms.
This is a great location to basically any classes. You're no more than a 5-minute walk from most things. You're very close to the gym. The library is like 3 minutes outside of your door.
I personally think FFE is the best option. I loved it here.
We both live here in FFE. Those are our rooms.
Yeah.
But
we were roommates last year, and now we decided to choose FFE because we heard it's just like a big open space, which it is, and there's an upstairs, downstairs, and like a main floor. We're in the handicap one, so it's like a little bit bigger than normal ones. And there's 4 people that live downstairs, and all 4 of us, we were in Florence together.
I live in upper new townhouses, and we decided to go in as a group of 4. So there were 4 students who did FFE, and then 4 students who were total strangers to us, which I think is really great advice. We heard that from older students who did FFE, to make sure that you live with people who didn't do the program, because I think that people that you live with can become friends with like very quickly. I know personally for me, I really enjoy the people that I live with.
Our housemates and I clicked beautifully. Like, we were all really interested in the same stuff. We would stay up till like 2 a.m. just talking and laughing.
it's definitely a nice way to branch out. Like, you get to meet their friends and their friends' friends. Even if you don't become best friends, it's just people to say hi to on campus.
So I originally went in with one FFE. We went into Lower New, which is really central to campus, really nice. She had to leave second semester due to surgery, in which case I've just been there by myself. But the people I moved in with are really, really nice, and like they were really welcoming, and that's how a lot of people are on Marist. And I've gotten along with them fine, and as I said, I found other friends, so I kind of just branch around, and it's been really easy.
Don't let anyone tell you that Gartland is the worst place to live.
True.
We love Gartland.
Love Gartland.
Because we get our own lawn. Upper, lower, and mid-rise don't get one.
Right now we are sitting in our beautiful lawn outside of Gartland. It is a beautiful day.
It's really not that bad. It's not that bad. It's kind of secluded.
And especially like coming from Florence, you're used to walking. So.
Yeah. Personally, I liked going into housing with FFEs because I knew at the end of the day I would be going back to something that I was comfortable with and that I was familiar with, and it was like a safe haven.
One of the big differences that I found between the classes that Florence does a lot more in between, like you just have one major exam, one major project, one major paper, whereas back in Poughkeepsie it's more of how it was in high school, where you have like homework, you'd have tests like all throughout, which can be good and bad depending on how you work.
I've had a variety of different teachers, some a little bit more like the European style, where we have a lot of essays, but for the most part it's definitely technology is used a lot more here, so you'll be using iLearn a lot. Get used to that.
The course load is pretty heavy. It might be a little more work than you guys have right now, but it's nothing that you can't manage, and teachers are flexible if you talk to them if you have an issue.
And they all have offices that you can go and visit, so it was a lot easier just to get in touch.
You have way more resources available to you when you're in Poughkeepsie. The library is a great resource. I work in the language center now, so you can all come visit me.
The library is really easy to use. You don't have to pay 10 cents a page like you do at Tetris.
I use special services. I get extended time and that sort of thing, which was very different here than it is in Florence. It's something that I had to get used to, but it's still pretty good. You get what you need, and there are assistants here that if even you can have weekly meetings with them, it's all included.
As you get into Marist now, you get a little more specific with your major, which again can be very interesting. Unfortunately, you're not taking as many field trips, although I've still had a few. I took a field trip last week to the FDR library with one of my classes.
Go on field trips if your class has them. Those are really fun, and they're like really low cost.
Marist Community, it is a relatively small campus and a small student body. So because of that, you do feel a lot closer to people, and I mean, there's enough people to where you don't see the same faces all the time. Like if you wanted to avoid someone, you could, but you do see similar faces when you're walking around, and you start to build bonds with people, and you see them more often.
The winters are tough, but in the springtime, I love when everybody's out laying on the lawn and like people are throwing frisbees and playing catch, and it's just like a really fun atmosphere.
The Maris Beach is what they call it. It makes it pretty fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
Fall semester, I had at least one FFE in every single one of my classes, which is nice because the transition that way wasn't as scary. But that didn't stop us from branching out either. We've met a lot of great people here.
Everyone's friendly. You don't have to worry about anyone being nasty, really. People chose school for the same reason you did and have similar backgrounds, so it's very easy to make friends.
I missed Florence so much when I first got here, and it was hard to not dwell on that and just think about Italy all the time and how much I wanted to go back.
Like if you just sit in your dorm and think about Florence, then it's not going to be fun, but if you get out and like see what there is to do in Poughkeepsie and around the campus and within the campus, there's so much stuff to make the transition easier.
You really have to be really positive about it and understand that it won't be the exact same experience. You can't think of it that way, but understand that there is value in getting like the typical college experience.
But you kind of just have to remember that you have to make the best out of every situation, and you already had this incredible experience that most people don't get to have, and you're lucky just to be able to have that and then to come back to like a really great school.
Anywhere you're going to go that's new, it's going to be a little bit tough to transition. But you guys experience what not many people experience, so you have that step above everybody. You'll be able to transition much easier than you think.
Just meeting people, going to the CAP with your friends, even just sticking with FFEs. You don't always have to branch out.
I think that's okay because we all have this bond and we've all been through a similar experience. I was lucky enough to come to Maris sophomore year with 40 people who I consider my friends, which is more than some people can say.
Yes, this is not Florence, but it's still going to be a great year. I think if you make it what you want, you join activities, you join clubs, and you really immerse yourself in Maris and what they have to offer, I think you're going to find it a great year.
And not only that, you keep that tight-knit group of FFEs, but you find some new people as well, and you start to make memories more with who you're with as opposed to maybe necessarily where you are. And in many ways, I have just as great of memories from this year as I do even from my year in Italy.
You always have your family from FFE. Just like if there was ever a problem, I know I could always come back and rely on them for support, and they were always there as a helping hand. So I definitely suggest push the comfort zone and go meet new people.
There's always good people around no matter where you are, and it's just a matter of finding what you have in common with them and giving people a chance and just opening yourself up to them. And really, you never know what's going to happen, and it's easy to make friends whether you believe it or not.
Don't be afraid to really put yourself out there and try a lot of different things on the Maris campus, because that way you meet new people, you find out things you like, find out things you don't. Just like traveling, when you throw yourself into situations, do that here. Don't be afraid to do that, and don't think you can't just because you're at a normal college. Really take advantage of what Maris has to offer because it's great here and we've had an amazing year.